Hello and welcome to today's very short video where I'm going to take a look at the price chart of PCX on the PCX USDT pair from MXC exchange. Now what I found interesting is I've actually found a chart which is quite comparable to this one with another coin which is on Binance. So I want to do a short comparison here and just to kind of show you how similar these two charts look and what this could possibly predict for the price of ChainX and the PCX coin. And I know that you can't really base one chart and compare it to another and kind of say, okay, this is definitely going to happen, but it does give you an indicator of what it could happen. And again, we got to keep in mind here that the price of Bitcoin can have an impact on the overall market. So if the price of Bitcoin pulls back quite a lot, then it can hurt the price of PCX2 and all the other altcoins. So what I've actually found interesting here is if we look at this chart here, this is on the 1-day chart on MXC. Back in mid-January we touched $8, okay, and then we pulled back. As you can see here, we pulled back quite significantly to the $4 range here, and then we had this massive pop which generated a new all-time high to 1560, and then we started to get this pullback, and then we had a bit of a push to the upside, which apparently is quite normal. This tends to happen when we have this kind of massive pullback. We tend to get a bit of a push to the upside and then it eventually goes lower. However, we do know that with PCX, we do have the upcoming airdrop, which is fueling the price and which is fueling people and getting people hyped up and getting people to buy even on these kind of dips, which could very likely, we could see it go below $9 just the way things are going at the moment. As you can see here, it is starting on a new uptrend. But really the purpose of this short video that I really wanted to do today is just to kind of compare this chart, the way this looks, to Link on the Link USDT pair. And this Link chart that we've got here, this is from the very beginning. This is like from 2019, okay? But I did find a similarity because I remember looking at this chart quite some time ago and I thought, the chart from PCX looks oddly familiar. So here we can see that we have this gap to the upside here, and this is like the $8 push that we saw for PCX, which is this one here. Then we had that bit of a pullback before we went a lot higher, and then you can see exactly the same happened here. I know that it was a bit different here because we had this push to the upside and then it slowly and gradually picked up, but then as you can see we had that massive pullback, and even though the wider time frame, which is the 99-day moving average here, the one in blue, was still on the uptrend, as you can see it was moving on the uptrend, we did manage to break below that. So eventually Link went all the way down below the moving average, below the 99-day moving average, quite a bit below it, and then it went back up here, as you can see, and it started another pop before going down low again. And then of course once we had more bullish news, it had another push to the upside. So, and again, this glitch here that you see at like 0.0001, apparently Binance said that this was just a technical glitch and no orders were actually filled, even though the order book was completely wiped out for a split second. But you know, it is what it is. So yeah, overall that chart, I mean, if you look at these price moves here, overall they're very, very tiny compared to this massive surge that we had here in 2020. When we had that big push to the upside, when the start of the bull run was pretty much triggered, and then it made that one seem small compared to this one. So again, the same thing could possibly happen here. I mean, the airdrop is holding this price because people want to get that airdrop, but as soon as that airdrop is distributed, we could potentially see a downtrend here, but I do expect another push to the upside. But anyway, just something to keep in mind here, that we've got this, again, this is the 30-day moving average here, so it's not the 99-day, you can't really compare it, right? We've got the 60-day here, which is in purple, so we still got quite a long way to go before we even touch it. But it's just some similarity here, and please let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this similarity? Do you think it is the same? Do you think it's different? Do you think this is not going to happen to PCX? But could we potentially see this happen? Because remember, if they're similar, and normally charts tend to follow a certain pattern, hence why we've got names like say Head and Shoulders and things like that for various charts. Yeah, this could even be like a head and shoulder formation. I mean, on the 1-day chart, this could be the left shoulder, this could be the head, and then we could be forming the right shoulder pretty soon. Okay, so it's just something here, and again, it might not, it might just go down even further, or it might just bounce off this moving average and continue the uptrend. But it's just something that I found interesting here with this chart, and why I wanted to do this video, to kind of share with you and kind of get your thoughts on this, to see what do you think of this chart, what's your opinion of it, especially if you have some trading experience. And again, as you can see here, we had this massive run up, and again it pulled back quite a lot, right, quite significantly. But the difference is that here you can see that the 30-day moving average was in an uptrend, but then as soon as we broke below this, you could see that we started moving down. So yeah, I mean, we had this huge pullback here, this huge pullback, and then it went down even further. So it took some time. It took like 2 months before we recovered. So again, this might not actually happen just because of the airdrop, just because they're going to be bonding to Rococo. And once they do that, they'll be in the spotlight. And then if we get any exchange listing, be it OKX, be it Huobi, and be it even the Binance Innovation Zone, then we could be pretty bullish about this. But these things need to happen before the chart speaks for itself, because the chart just moves, the market just moves out once, right? So, and then we could potentially see this probably go below 8 if this keeps up. And there's a lot of selling pressure. So we'll have to see if 8 is going to hold as good support once again. If it does, that would be great, because we did touch it once, right? So then if we touch it a second time, it is pretty scary. But I also want to be a bit optimistic here, because normally when you look at these charts and you tend to see this kind of upwards movement, and you don't see a dip below the last dip that we had before the last low. So this low here was at 790, I believe it was. What is it? 8, exactly 8 on the dot. So as you can see, the support at 8 acted well. Okay, exactly 8 here. This was the previous resistance. This acted as support. And now we had this dip which went as low as 927. So not 8. So again, it is a higher low. It's not a lower low, it's a higher low. But it could just dip below 8, right? It could happen. I'm not saying it won't. And I mean, looking at this, it is quite thin. It is quite thin. It is scary. I mean, people will need to sell 4,254 PCX just to get to 8, and more than that just to get to below it, right? So yeah, we have to keep an eye out on this, because it is a bit worrisome. But like I said, as soon as they connect to Rococo, then this worry should go away, because they'll be in the spotlight. More people find out about ChainX, and things should change. So yeah, this is it from today's video. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Once again, leave me a comment below telling me what you think. And I'll see you in my next video tomorrow, where I'm going to be talking about something interesting related to hodling, and should you hodl your crypto, and what should you go by when you decide to hodl. Stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.